Hey, what's up, guys? This is Oscar coming to you live again from the KCC Spin Podcast Studio and here at KCC. And just wanted to check in with you guys. You guys are almost at the final moment of finals, and I wish you good luck. I think if you've made it to the final week, then you've already conquered 99% of the whole class. So hang in there. You're almost done, and you get actually 3 weeks off or 4 weeks off for winter break. So enjoy it, eat a lot of food, and just have some good time with family and friends. Today we're doing KCC episode 5, and we have a special guest today. Her name is Mackenzie, and she is our new ICAP coordinator. And I heard her talk a little bit in our staff meeting, and she has a really good, valuable information. And I think that sometimes one of the things that happens at KCC is we just don't share enough information the right way, so people don't know. And if you don't know, then you don't know, right? So we're trying to make sure that people know about the resources and how they can get connected. So, so Mackenzie, welcome to the show. Welcome to KCC. Tell us a little bit about you, a little bit of your background and kind of how you ended here. And then we'll dive a little bit more into what ICAP's about and how we can go there.
Sure. Thanks for having me here. So I've been at KCC for 3 months now. I joined in late August, so I'm very new. I'm also very new to the Klamath Falls community, but I'm excited to be here. I'm originally from Northern Colorado,
Nice.
but I moved here to Oregon in 2020 to pursue my bachelor's at Oregon State University. So I graduated this past June. I got my bachelor's of science in anthropology with a minor in humanitarian engineering. Funny story, I actually started the first 2.5 years as mechanical engineering and made a very last minute career switch.
Wow.
Yeah. Complete 180 there.
Right.
I realized I was more interested in the people rather than the hard mechanics of things. But during my time at Oregon State, I spent 2 years as a career assistant at the Career Development Center on campus. So I would help students with resumes and cover letters, interview prep, and that sort of thing. And that really made me realize it was possible to make a career switch, and realized what it was like to align my interests with something that worked well for me. And so I graduated this past June, and now I'm here at KCC as the new ICAP / vocational rehabilitation career coach.
Wow, that's a long title, right?
Yeah.
Well, we are glad to have you here. I'm excited to have someone that is also new to the area. I think it's good to have new perspective and new ideas from other places. So I'm looking forward to get to know you more as a colleague here at KCC, and also figure out how we can collaborate and work together and help students to be more successful and provide resources to overcome barriers. So
Definitely.
tell us a little bit about your actual role, like your ICAP coordinator, vocational specialist. Tell us what ICAP means and how that fits into what how we can help students here.
Yeah, definitely. So I liked what you said about breaking down barriers. ICAP was designed to do such. So ICAP stands for Inclusive Career Advancement Program. It is a pilot grant, so it is new, but it is confined to the state of Oregon, and it is funded under the U.S. Department of Education. And essentially what it does is it places one career coach or one of me at the participating community colleges. And ICAP is really there to support students with disabilities. So it is a partnership with Vocational Rehabilitation, which is a service of Oregon Department of Human Services.
Oh.
So VR, essentially, they help people with disabilities who have barriers due to their disabilities that prevent them from gaining sustainable employment, or maybe they've had trouble in the past keeping employment, getting employment, whatever. VR sort of helps them figure out their interests, develop a plan, and get them ready to work. Now, VR clients, ICAP sort of recognizes that there are VR clients who require additional schooling to meet their desired employment goal. And with additional schooling comes a lot of barriers and systems to navigate, which for students or people with disabilities, maybe they've never navigated anything like that before. Maybe they've been told their whole lives that they're not capable of getting a degree, that they're not capable of maintaining employment. So ICAP is really there to say, hey, you need help with getting financial aid, I'll walk you there and do it for you, like do it with you, not for you, but with you.
Right.
And just get access to resources. So I provide essentially just individualized academic and career coaching for students here with disabilities. And they don't necessarily need to already be a client of vocational rehabilitation. If there are students here with disabilities who are interested in additional coaching, all they have to do is come talk to me and I can help refer them to VR and help them learn more about that service.
Wow. Yeah. No, I think that's a very important resource to have. And I don't think sometimes, I think in my area, it is difficult sometimes as adult learners, anybody 18 and over, to come out and be like, hey, I need some help, And I think that having people with the genuine passion and feeling to help people helps overcome that. That's like the first barrier. It's like for education, I tell students, there's a lot of students that make it as far as to the parking lot. And they sit there and they question, is this for me? Is this not for me? I don't belong here. I'm too dumb, or I'm not good at math. And then they leave. And they never get out of their car, right? So I tell people in the community, I'm like, if you just come in, if you just walk in, we will greet you with a smile and we will find you resources, right? And having you on the team now and on board with KCC and what you just describe of what resources you have, I mean, I think that that's like a huge, another hand to lean on, right? On top of like the disability services or accessibility services that we have. So how does that, can a student get, so they have a disability, they go with our accessibility coordinator and they get, accommodations. Can they still use your service as well?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Accommodations are kind of sort of an extra service that supports them while they're in the classroom. I'm sort of there to help them more outside of the classroom. So the beauty about my service is that it's very person-centered. Students can come check in with me and ask questions as often as they would like or need. For some students, that might just be once a month. Right. For other students, it could be once a week. Students, like you said, those non-traditional students who, might be older and have a disability, and imposter syndrome is huge, and it affects that population just that much more. So if a student is just getting started here, maybe we are meeting more often and I'm like, okay, let's get you connected to this resource. What are your needs? What are your barriers? Let's work right now to break them down so that you can focus on being a successful student here.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good to know, because sometimes I feel like kind of like most of us, right? When we don't feel good, we Google our symptoms, right? And Google will tell us everything, right? And I think sometimes in college, students do that, right? Like, I don't qualify for this service, or I don't qualify for this grant. Right. I don't qualify for this scholarship. So then it's like, no, I tell them, I'm like, dude, just apply for that scholarship. Apply for this thing. You never know what could happen. So I think in some cases, this is the same thing, right? Students go, well, I'm already getting an accommodation, or I'm already getting help by the accessibility coordinator. It's like, yeah, but you could also now go to Mackenzie and talk about what other resources that we can have. So I'm glad you explained that that's possible, and I'm glad you explained kind of that extra little bit different help that you can assist with as well too.
And
go ahead.
With that, I would say it's, talked about the academic coaching side, but then it's so much more than that. ICAP's goal for a student is that they always obtain competitive integrative employment upon finishing their last credential here. So in other words, not just a job, but a career, and a career that reflects their skills, their merits, their interests, but then also making sure that they are able to find an environment that can accommodate to their disability, and it's somewhere that they feel comfortable in. And so towards the end, of their schooling here. I try to work with students on, the resume, the cover letter, but then also
that's
trying to picture, what does your disability look like in a workplace environment? How can you leave here and ensure that you can still be successful entering into that workplace?
That's awesome. I like that because I think sometimes they get done and they're like, now what?
Right.
Like, I did all this and I got all this. Like, now what do I do? Right. So I think the fact that, like you said, making them see kind of how the disability looks in a career or in a profession or work. I mean, that's super cool and super, key to our students. And if you're listening, if you're a parent, or if you're someone that that has a disability or something, like, we have a lot of help. If you know someone, send them our way. We would love to connect and help with them. What is the best way to get a hold of you? How do we refer students to you? How do students find you? So maybe a student just doesn't want to go through anybody else and they're watching, they're like, well, how do I get a hold of her?
Definitely. So yeah, I have contact information on KCC's website. ICAP is located under student resources. So email, phone number. I'm also usually in my office. I'm located in building 4, right next to Badger Bistro and across from Career Services. So feel free to pop in. And even if you're not sure if you qualify, I'm happy to sit down and talk to anyone about this.
That's so cool. So again, guys, part of what we're doing this podcast is we want to bring you more information and a way for you to understand it. And, we can, there's a saying that I'm going to butcher really bad, right? But we could provide you the water well, but you have to drink it, right? And I think that we have resources. You just have to take them and they're here for you to be successful. Mackenzie, last couple questions. So
Sure.
What would be your best advice for a new student starting either college or just KCC in general? Like, what would be something that you're like, man, if I would have known this, I would have been a rock star?
Well, I would say regardless if someone has a disability or not, just use your resources. Like you just said, they're available and they're there for students to use. And what I've learned since only being at KCC just a few short months, I've learned that the culture and the environment here is always student success centered. So if I'm not the right resource for you or someone else isn't, they'll do everything they can to connect you to who can help you.
Awesome. What's been your favorite part about Klamath?
Oh,
I had to throw a curveball at you.
that is a really good question. Honestly, being so close to Crater Lake.
Yeah. Have you been to Crater Lake?
Yes, I've only living here 3 or 4 months, I've been to Crater Lake 5 times.
Would you believe me that there's people that lived here for almost 20 or their lifetime and have never been to Crater Lake?
I would believe that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, thank you, Mackenzie, for being here today. Like I said, you can find ICAP on the KCC website. You can go to Building 4. To the right side, you can find her office. You can go to Building 9 to the front desk and say, I'd like to talk to Mackenzie from ICAP. We will connect you with them. If you want more information and you're watching this, on YouTube or social media, you can send a message to them. We will get back to you as well. So have a great day. Thank you. Good luck in your finals. If I don't see you again, happy holidays. Hope you get everything you wanted. Don't forget about your good friend, Oscar. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good one.